The clockmaker's grandson, in a quiet part of the city, tucked between a bakery and a bookstore, stood an old clock shop that most people didn't notice. Its wooden sign read, Lian and Sons, timekeepers since 1849. But only one person worked there now. Noah, the clockmaker's grandson. He was 26, quiet, and always had smudges of brass oil on his fingers. He rarely spoke to customers. He didn't smile often. But he listened. He always listened. Noah had inherited the shop after his grandfather passed away. The man had been a mystery, always tinkering with clocks that never sold, always writing notes in a strange script Noah couldn't read. The last thing his grandfather ever said to him was, "Some clocks don't measure time, measure moments." Noah thought it was just one of his cryptic metaphors, until he found the clock in the back room. It didn't tick. It didn't chime. It had no numbers, no hands, just a smooth silver face and a single button at the bottom. Taped to the top was a yellowing note. Press only when you ready to remember. In a flash, the world around him changed. The shop melted away, replaced by a hospital hallway. Noah stood, at age 17, watching his mother argue with a doctor. He knew this memory. It was the day she chose not to get treatment. He had stayed silent. Now he stood next to his younger self, unseen, and the silver clock, still in his hand, now had a dial. "Do you speak?" It blinked. He hesitated, then whispered, "Yes." In the memory, his younger self turned, surprised, and said, "I think I want to say something." And just like that, the memory shifted. The argument changed. The decision changed. Then Noah was pulled back. When he returned to the shop, everything looked slightly different. A photo of his mother was now on the counter, her face older than he remembered. A second room in the back was now filled with newer tools. And in the window stood a help-wanted sign, something he didn't remember putting there. The clock hadn't just shown him the past, it had changed it. Over the next few days, Noah tested the clock again. Each press took him to a different moment. Small, specific, unfinished. The girl whose letter he never read. The night he walked away instead of apologizing. Each time, the clock asked, "Do you speak? Do you act? Do you wait?" Each answer created ripples, small changes in his present. A letter waiting for him in the mail. A voicemail from an old friend. A bruise that no longer hurt. He felt powerful, like life was clay, and he could reshape it. Then came the night he pressed the clock and found himself in his grandfather's workshop years earlier. The old man sat at the bench, polishing the silver clock. "You weren't supposed to come here yet," he said without turning. Noah froze. "You No. I made the clock for you, his grandfather said, but not for fixing regrets. Then what for? The old man finally looked at him, eyes sharp. To remember what matters, not to rewrite who you are. Still, Noah had one more moment he couldn't ignore. A night he buried deep, the last argument with his father, the last thing he ever said before the accident. It haunted him. The clock showed the moment, the shouting, the slammed door, the silence. The question blinked. Do you change this? His hands shook. He whispered, yes, but something was wrong. The moment didn't just shift, it collapsed. Voices faded. The image shook. And then, blackness. Noah woke up in the shop. But it wasn't his shop. It was polished, modern, digital clocks everywhere. His hands were clean. No oil, no scars. Photos on the wall showed him in a suit, with his father, with awards, with people he didn't recognize. There was no silver clock, no notebook, no smell of old wood. He had become someone else, and yet, he felt empty. He found a single gear, tiny, engraved. When he held it, the world flickered, just slightly. Enough, he whispered, I want to go back, not to change, just to remember. The gear glowed. He opened his eyes. Back in the quiet shop, the silver clock untouched, the photo of his mother smiling, the old creaks in the floor. He exhaled. The clockmaker's grandson, a story about choices and their consequences. Sometimes our regrets can feel so heavy, they define us. We blame ourselves for the past, for the things we did, for the things we didn't. What if there was a way to fix it, to change it, to undo it? Would that make us happier? The story explores the idea of second chances, of going back in time and doing things differently. But it also shows the unintended consequences of such actions. Changing the past can have ripple effects on the present, even if it seems like a small, harmless change. It raises questions about free will and determinism, about whether we can ever truly change our fate. If you liked this story, you might also enjoy other science fiction stories where time travel is a key theme, such as the butterfly effect or predestination. If you want to hear more stories like this, please stay tuned. And if you want to support the channel, please consider supporting us. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.